Hi everyone, I'm going to close the door. It seems like someone's doing loop-the-loops on a plane at the moment, so apologies for any noise in the background. And sort of fluffy hair from me. I'm in desperate need of a haircut, but I've been refraining from getting one just yet. But I'm probably going to do one at the end of the month, just because it's suddenly grown, and I reckon I'm going to want it a little bit shorter and have it done before the baby gets here, otherwise I'll just feel like it looks messy. Don't ask. So today is what day is it today? Thursday. So we're 33 weeks and 5 days? Yeah, 5 days. Saturdays are our changeover days. And yeah, it feels very real at this point. We're getting sort of, well, it'd be the 6-week countdown on Saturday, but then as soon as the 6th week is done, it's like 5 weeks and 5 days or whatever, or 5 weeks and 6 days. So suddenly we're always ahead of ourselves. And there's always that potential, not risk, but potential scenario that baby could arrive at 37 weeks, which would be in 3 weeks' time, which is mad. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I'm so bad at maths. But yeah, we're starting to feel like everything is happening all at once. And so this last week, nothing much has changed, and I didn't want to upload a massive vlog like last time because that was quite intensive, but I thought I would take you through this week anyway and just see like a little catch up. The only things that probably have changed in the last week or two is that I've been starting to do yoga. So a friend has basically set up a really private yoga studio for like 2 of us essentially, plus a teacher, 3 of us I think last week, whatever. So it's just us because I actually live outside of Northampton. So I would go to some of the classes in Northampton that I saw, but they're just too far for me to keep travelling back and forth. So I am doing those, which are really good because it's private, so I feel a little bit more confident in doing it. And it's been really good for just getting my sleep back on track, giving me something to focus on a Monday evening. And yeah, I'm sure there's loads of health benefits to doing yoga as well, so that's been really good. It's really weird when you're trying to relax and you're like laying down and you've got a massive bump, and then suddenly you'll just see like a foot come out and you're like, we're meant to be doing yoga. It feels like I put the naughty child in my stomach or something. But apart from that, nothing else has changed. I've not had any more appointments. The next one is next week. And yeah, just keep plodding along. I finally got some heartburn relief. I got some prescribed tablets, which have been a godsend. They literally work like a dream. Haven't had any heartburn since I started taking them, which has been amazing, because that was affecting my sleep quite badly and put me in a bit of pain, if anything. So that's been great. So if you do suffer with heartburn, you can get tablets for them if you're pregnant. Obviously check with your GP, but I was allowed some. And yeah, apart from that, I'm just feeling heavy, and this week is meant to be super hot again. Last Friday it was 36 degrees. And this week it's just meant to be high 20s for like next week, which is great. I love the summer, happy to see the sunshine, but it is hot. And when I think the problem is that I just need to stay out of direct sunlight. If I'm in the shade, I'm quite happy. Everyone keeps texting me like, you okay in the heat? I'm like, to be fair, I'm fine. But it is hot, and it's the evenings that are really bad because, you know, when you go upstairs and then the heat just hits you, we get that in the evenings. But apart from that, that's all that's really to catch up on. I'm going to try and go to the Audi baby event today because there's a couple of things I want to pick up that are on a discount. But yeah, we've got our last NCT class next week, another appointment next week. So I might just catch you up then really, because as I say, nothing much has changed. And yeah, we're just plodding along to the final countdown. So yeah, we'll catch up soon. Hi guys, welcome back. Today is the 38-week update. I know I've been really slack on these over the last 5 weeks or so. I had every intention of doing one a week or every 2 weeks as I've been doing, and then life just kind of got in the way and not much has changed, but I'm sure it probably has, I just haven't noticed. But I wanted to still document this, still do the whole journey, because it's really important for me to look back on, I think. Especially through this crazy world and the crazy year of 2020. So Today is the 38-week update, now 38 and 3 days. So we are definitely on the way, on the countdown, and it's weird. I would just love for her to be here now. I'm definitely ready for her to arrive. And yeah, it's just crazy time. So one of the things I really wanted to touch on is the home birth. So I can't remember when I mentioned it or if I even mentioned it, but I am planning on having a home birth. There's a few reasons why I decided to do this. At first it was to do with the COVID situation, visiting restrictions, the idea of Dad not being there, and just the whole hospital environment has really let me down at points recently. More so at the beginning when COVID was a real issue. But I've had some nurses who have been far from compassionate, shall we say. And the whole idea of being in hospital just wasn't for me. I know there are so many positive stories, and some people have said that they've loved having the sort of space and less visitors, but that's just not how I'd work. I'm very probably closed off as a person, in the way of some people say they love that when they're on a ward and they've got all these women around them and they can talk to them about things, but that's just not probably me. It might be, but I just feel like my birth or my labour needs to be as positive as I need it to be. And then that's where it's kind of stemmed from. So at first it was the COVID restrictions, and now as everything's changing and some restrictions have left, some are still remaining, i.e. you can only have 4 hours in the labour ward each day as a visitor, which I didn't think was very fair. If you have a cesarean section, you get 90 minutes after birth, which is just ridiculous because we all know how quickly that would go. And it's just not fair on the dads to just sit at home, like what the hell are they supposed to do with their time? Just wait for you to come home and go, oh my god, my family's somewhere else and I just want to be with them. It's just, yeah, can't get my head around it. So as I started to think about this, I just thought, well, so many people have home births. You see it a lot on YouTube for sure. And, you know, I was born at home back when, 25 years ago, my mum had me at home. I've turned out fine. Apparently it was just kind of the done thing, as in that midwife wanted to bring me into the world at home. The hospital was half an hour away, so that was the solution. And there's a lot to be said about being in your own personal space, being at home, your home comforts. You know, we can spend all that time getting into the later stages of labour at home, as we would anyway, and then when the time comes where I want to be in the pool, then I've got my own pool. Because I did want a water birth anyway, and then I was just feeling like, I know in my luck, after this crazy year, I would turn up to the hospital and the water birth would be busy or something like that, and I wouldn't get the birth I wanted. So at least by being at home, I get the water birth, I get the birth I wanted. Is a positive experience, which is something I've read a lot about. You know, you get more from your labour if it's positive and how you want it to go. And I'm very aware that things could change. For example, if I get induced, that would obviously mean a hospital stay, depending on which one you have. If I ended up having a C-section, obviously I then have to stay in hospital. But I'm just planning for the most positive, easygoing birth I can have. And if plan B, C and D happen, so be it, but at least we tried. And I just didn't want to sort of give up too quickly. I'm hoping that I can have my birth at home, all will be well. If we have to go to hospital for maybe a checkup afterwards, so be it. I've got my bags ready in case of, and I've had my bags ready for a while. But that is kind of where my head's at with it all. And a lot of people are like, oh, home birth, like, I think there's that kind of misconception that it's like hippy dippy and a bit weird to do it, but it used to be the norm. You know, back when hospitals weren't, when midwife centres weren't really a thing, it was the norm to give birth at home. You watch programmes like Call the Midwife and, you know, everyone's going at home. It's only recently that it's like now 2% of the UK's births are at home, which is bizarre, because why would you not want to be in your own... I can understand why you wouldn't want to be, because medically you've got all the doctors around you, but a midwife is never going to take a risk. They will know what to look out for. So if something doesn't look right, you're in that hospital within seconds. It's not a case of, let's see how we get on for 5 minutes, let's see what happens. They would just make the decision. So I'm very comfortable with the idea, and obviously it means Dan gets to be there for the whole thing. So besides the home birth, we've had our assessment, all was fine. They don't really assess the house as such. I think they just make sure that you're a sound couple, you've got the space, you've got the taps, you know what you're doing basically. If you lived in like a 20-story flat with probably a very small bathroom and nowhere to put the pool, then obviously things would have to be considered. So I think it's just like making sure that it makes sense to have a home birth. Other than that, the last few weeks have been relatively easy in terms of pregnancy. I get out of breath a lot walking up and down the stairs, which is fun. You can probably hear it now. I've just done all that talking. You can probably hear that I'm out of breath. The other thing that kicked off again over the bank holiday, which was 2 weekends ago, was my heartburn. It was really like bothering me, but we weren't eating the best dinners. I think I just got tired, life was busy, we were both working a lot, and so our dinners weren't great. We were eating enough but not really probably the best stuff, and my heartburn really kicked off. And then it was the bank holiday weekend and I forgot to get more tablets from the doctor, so I was without them for the weekend, and then over the Sunday I literally woke up at 2 AM and threw up, which was not fun. Like a proper throw up as well, which was a bit weird. But now I'm back on the tablets again, all is well. So it really does show that the heartburn, or your diet, plays a good role in your heartburn. So if you're struggling with heartburn, maybe have a look at what you're eating and consider you know, eating the best, like loads of veg basically has really helped with my heartburn, but I still take the tablets just in case. The other things that are kind of changing, I guess, but not really like a pregnancy symptom, is just I'm now on maternity leave. So I'm now 38 weeks, so I went on maternity leave at 37. I literally held off for as long as I could, and I was getting really tired at work. I now sit at home and think I'm bored as hell, but I know that if I was at work I'd be really tired, I'd probably be struggling, and I need a little bit of downtime before the baby comes. Everyone says, you know, you need time, you need to enjoy this time of quiet and, you know, organisation. It's not in my nature to sit still. If you know me at all, I do not sit still. I'm always on the, like, mind for work. I'm thinking, what can I do next? What can I do? Like, how can I be productive? But I do need to stop and slow down, because it's not healthy to be that way. Life isn't all about work, it's about, you know, your life as well. So trying to calm down, chill out, enjoy a bit of peace and quiet. Dan's now back in the office 3 days a week, so that kind of gives me a bit of space as well. And I think it would be weird if he's working from home when the baby gets here, as in after his 2 weeks maternity, because it's just going to be a weird setup having him working at the dining table and a baby about, but I'm sure we'll make it work regardless. And I think even if he does go into the office, as much as he'd hate not being here, I think it'd be good to have a bit of like work-life balance as well. Other than that, the nursery is completely finished and we are now just on a countdown. I can't say that I've felt any kind of hint of anything happening soon. I constantly look out for signs. If I wake up loads in the night, I'm like, oh, is this it? And then I'm like, no, I just needed a wee. Still wake up like 5 times a night needing a wee, which is great fun. But yeah, everything is ready, everything's packed. It's just a waiting game now. And yeah, we're just going to see how far we go. I've got another appointment tomorrow. I know that a girl on my NCT was offered a sweep at her 40 week, which would be 2 weeks time for me. So maybe that might be an option. Anything to speed it up, because I'm the most impatient person in the world. And I can't imagine having another 4 weeks of this, because it would be really boring. But we'll see. I don't want to rush it, but I don't also want to just sit here and be like, where are you, hurry up? Because it feels like this has been the weirdest, it's like a really quick year, but a really short year at the same time. Because the baby's taken up all of like my thoughts for the last 9 months, but the year itself has flown by. So it's really, really strange. But yeah, that's all I've really got to update at the moment. The bump is fairly big, but I think she's kind of done now with her growing, or she's packing on a little bit more weight, but nothing major. They even said last time, like, you're not going to have a big baby, are you? Like, I could even imagine tomorrow at my appointment they'll probably send me off for another growth scan, because she's not massive, but I can't imagine that someone who's 5'3" and was previously 8 stone is going to have a big baby. It's just probably not in my genes to do that. Dan's 6 foot, but then we're having a girl as well, so it's really not going to make much of a difference in her size now. And I mean, any chance to see her again would be great, but I think she's just sort of packing on the pounds. And when she kicks now, it's not like like where they were kicking before. It's more like I'm rolling over and you can just feel the bump go, like, it's not the same kind of kicks, but it's still nice either way. So yeah, I will get my breath back and I will show you a bump shot, and that's really all I've got to update you on. I'm sorry it's been so long to update, but as I said, nothing's really happened. So yeah, I will hopefully update you again in 2 weeks time and let you know what's happening, if anything. So yeah, we'll catch up soon. Bye.